Welcome to a new Team CGC 9.8 video. So I've finally received a package that it seems like I've been waiting for quite a long time, to be honest. So it's my newest CGC 9.8 addition to the collection. And I first talked about this comic book on the 7 Undervalued CGC 9.8 comic book video we did. And that was almost a month ago, actually. And yeah, I was looking this morning. And on that video, I mentioned like one of the comic books I went out and purchased while doing the research for the video. And this is that book. So, you know, I think with the whole COVID-19 thing, I almost expected there to be a bit of a delay in the shipping, and that's sort of what happened. But got the book in. I think this is a really good, like, undervalued CGC 9.8 comic book. So we'll get right into it. I do want to quickly invite everyone to join the team and subscribe to Team CGC 9.8 and hit the bell to get all the latest notifications, and add me on Instagram and Twitter too. I'll got all the links in the description below for all that. But yeah, would love to have you on our comic book collecting, comic book investing team here. But newest edition of the collection, you'll really like this one and probably recognize it from that video. It's a Marvel Spotlight, version 2, number 6. It's the first comic book appearance of Star-Lord, Peter Quill, so the leader of the Guardians of the Galaxy that most of us probably know from the MCU Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Such a cool cover. Now, yeah, I'll get into some of the details about the purchase, but I just want to get into the census here really quick, right off the bat. There's a 77 CGC 9.8s in the blue label, and its CGC 9.8 ratio is a 17.8%. So of all graded copies, 17.8% of them are CGC 9.8s. And this book's from 1980, so it's an older book. It's getting, obviously, in the early 80s. So you like to see that CGC 9.8 ratio below 20%. And for a book that's not really popular, very underfollowed, not a lot of them graded, that is a really, that's a really good CGC 9.8 ratio. Once more these get graded, I would think that ratio would go down, possibly. So, yeah, such a great book. I think, you know, I did boil it down to kind of 3 reasons, and we'll get into those. Just talk about the purchase, and then we'll get into price. But obviously, kind of 2 bummers maybe about the purchase. Like, one thing, it took forever. Like, about a month it felt really long, and usually I get the books in about 2 weeks from the U.S. In Canada, it takes about a week to 2 weeks, but in the U.S., it's usually about 2 weeks. This one, about 4 weeks, I would say. Another bummer, I had to pay some tariffs on delivery, some customs tariffs. So that was $26.20 Canadian. So call it about 20 bucks American. Which was a bit of a bummer. And I think, you know, these tariffs, I've purchased quite a lot of books from the United States in the last 3 years here, 9.8s. And I would say maybe 5% of them possibly have like, this might have been my 3rd or 4th book that I can remember, you know, paying a tariff at the door, and, you know, you just gotta kind of pay with your credit card type of thing. So I don't know if that's getting more, you know, if they're cracking down on that a little bit more now, but did get a little bit unlucky in that. So we'll talk about price and maybe adding 20 bucks for the tariff in US, because you usually just talk about US prices here. But I paid $230 for this comic book. I think, you know, you get a 1 of 77 collector item. The first comic book appearance of, you know, Star-Lord Peter Quill. One thing to mention too, his first overall appearance was in Marvel Preview number 4, which was a magazine. Came out about 5 years before this one. But you know, on this book, you know, this book's still really collectible, and it's this one being the first comic book appearance, and you get the origin in here too. Yeah, and it's a Bill Sienkiewicz and Joe Rubinstein cover, so you got like 2 really like classic artists doing the art, and it really shows, I think, on this cover, which kind of gets better and better the more you see it. Another thing too I'll mention about the purchase is the colors are a lot better in the flesh, which I don't think really happens a lot on eBay. Orders, usually maybe the colors look better on the picture, but such a great copy. Yeah, I was really happy with that, you know, with the drawbacks with the tariffs, and yeah, it took forever, but the book itself, really nice case. I'm not seeing any, you know, scuffs or scratches on the case, and yeah, the colors are better, as I said, yeah, better than what I expected, which is all you can ask for. Yeah, such a great book. And the CGC 9.8, a 1 of 77 collector item. So, yeah, I paid $230 US, $20 at the door, I guess, so maybe $250. I did look on Go Collect this morning, and Go Collect has it at $230 as well. Before I purchased this, Go Collect had it as $275. So I think that $230 on Go Collect right now is probably my purchase, because I did just purchase it as a buy it now on eBay. Like it wasn't a best offer or anything, so it was a very kind of transparent price, $230. So let's get into the 3 reasons why I decided to pull the trigger and buy Marvel Spotlight version 2, number 6. Such a great cover. Yeah, so pumped to have it. It was really one in the last day here. I've just been kind of taking it out and having a look at it over and over again. So 3 reasons here. First reason, I think there's a really good argument to be made that it's pretty undervalued. To have a CGC 9.8 ratio under 20%, to sort of have the first appearance of the leader of the new team Guardians of the Galaxies, and the leader of the team that everyone going forward here is going to think of the new team MCU Guardians of the Galaxy as the real Guardian, like the Guardians of the Galaxy that everyone knows about. So to get the first appearance of the leader, I think is a really great sort of, I don't want to call it a speculation, because I do think this is really getting into an investment grade book for sure. Only 1 of 77 out there. If you could add, like, say, the first appearance of Cyclops or something like that. I mean, this is very similar to that. Obviously a bit of a, kind of apples to oranges comparison, but the leader of the Guardians of the Galaxies, and there's only 77 of them in the world, and you get a CGC 9.8 ratio a little under 20. I think that's, all those reasons why that, and it's still affordable at $230. Saying it's undervalued here, I think, that is a solid price, just given everything I just mentioned. So, number 2 here is the 1 of 77 in CGC 9.8. So it looks really good on the census. The second reason, I kind of alluded to that. 1 of 77 collector item. And 17.8% of all graded copies are CGC 9.8s. And the third reason is, I think, just the Guardians of the Galaxy team, the new team, and all the characters that sort of have to do with the new team. Gamora, Drax, Star-Lord, Rocket Raccoon's another book that I purchased. I think they just have a lot of potential. And, it's almost as if you could get in on, X-Men when they first came out, like, all these years ago. And then, obviously, now, like, Giant Size X-Men and the first appearance of X-Men are just such great investment-grade books. And this is a modern, we're getting into modern books, so it's not a direct comparison. But I think for a modern book, that you could still buy sort of the first appearance of Peter Quill, Star-Lord, the leader of the new team Guardians of the Galaxies, in the best possible grade for about $230. I think that, makes sense, and that's pretty much why I went out and, as I said at the beginning of the video, in that underfollowed video, I was just kind of digging deep for some cool underfollowed books that I can do for the video, and while I was doing the research for that video, I saw this comic book, doing some research, went on eBay, saw a CGC 9.8, saw that it was under like $50 under the Go Collect fair market value. And some of the completed listings were a little bit higher too, and there weren't even any completed listings on eBay though at the time. So it just kind of seemed to make sense at $230, and it was a really good, seemed like a really decent copy. And I think for $230, it is a decent copy. Yeah, the colors are great. Centering's pretty nice, almost perfect. But the colors are, I would say, perfect, and the case is perfect. Yeah, for CGC 9.8s, you don't want any scuffs or scratches on the case, so that's really important too. So. Okay, glad I could show everyone the newest addition to my CGC 9.8 collection, and I'm pretty big on Guardians of the Galaxy right now because, we're sort of in between the movies, so you definitely wouldn't want to buy sort of as the next Guardians of the Galaxy movie trailer drops, and like when it's out in theater too, the books will probably be pretty heated up. If theaters are even going to happen, like who knows what's going on in the world right now, but I think right now is kind of the time to buy a lot of these Guardians of the Galaxy characters. This one being definitely an underfollowed one, only 77 in the CGC 9.8. Certainly Raw copies are pretty cheap. I was looking at them. Yeah, raw copies like $20-ish for a nice one. Kind of, I'm thinking kind of a fine grade probably. Saying about $20 for a raw and a fine grade for this book. So yeah, whatever matches your budget, I think still works as a really cool underfollowed, undervalued key issue. And with the Guardians of the Galaxy's new Team MCU having so much potential, I think, yeah, it's one to buy now. And in the CGC 9.8 for $230 makes sense for me. Yeah, I think that makes sense for me. And the sort of, what's out there for around $200 in a CGC 9.8. I think this does well when you consider other things that are going for about $230 in the CGC 9.8 other comic books. Okay, that'll be enough for this video. Thanks so much for watching. Really appreciate the support and everything. Yeah, I'm glad I could show everyone the newest addition to the collection here. Yeah, a book that I'm really excited about to have, really pumped about. Thanks so much for watching today, though. I'll see you on the next video.